thousands of problems are solved by science and technology. So what are the possible, some important problems which may come up in the future, which we can solve it through science and technology? Number 3, do you think it is dangerous for us to keep making new and better machines? Every week we are getting some update in our mobile phones. So the gadget that I am making use of right now is 2 years old. It doesn't have the latest features. There are so many updates. So I have to go for a new gadget, new laptop. So within 1 year, it becomes obsolete. It becomes outmoded. The features are not there. The recent features are not there. So these are the 3 questions. So please go to the next slide. Number 4. If there is more food, more water, more medicine, more housing, and more clothing than the people need in the future, will we still have money and jobs? Will there be craze for money making? Will you and me run after money, or we'll put an end? Number 5. Do you think that people will be able to live forever? What will we do if we all live that long? Say you are provided with longevity for more than 100 years. What will be the scenario? Will there be chaos if there are no deaths? Question number 6. Would you let someone put robot inside your body? If you say why? If you say no, why not? Already chips are implanted in our human bodies. Yeah, next slide, please. Question number 7. Do you think computers will become smarter than people? Because now ChatGPT and generative AI, I hope the young researchers, you the pity is you don't believe in yourself. Question number 8. Computers rule the world. Do you think it will be better or worse for people? Do you think computers are going to rule us one day? Who knows? Question number 9. If you make a copy of your brain that thinks and feels exactly like as you do, is it really another you? Just like taking a photocopy of a text or a paper or a document. Will it be possible for us to make a copy of our own brain? It's going to happen. The final question is, would you ever pay to have yourself frozen so that you can wake up in the future? There are projects going on for this, and people are investing money on it. So these are something like existential questions that you and me have to ask ourselves. We cannot escape from this reality. Please go to the next slide. So from humanism to posthumanism, how long we have been traveling? So when did we start humanism? If you ask me, we belong to humanities. What do we do in humanities? We document human experience. We process information. We record feelings. We record our emotions. We record our own reactions. All human experiences are recorded, documented. It's a very broad academic field. And we record all the interactions between one human being and another human being. So while we are recording, we embark on something like we become analytical, we become critical, and sometimes we do exploration. Like the title of the FDP is Exploration through Literature, in Literature. As you all know, humanities, it's an umbrella term. inclusive of history, economics, English, political science. Next slide, please. So humanism, right now, at the wake of 21st century, is undergoing a tremendous change. It is demanding a redefinition. Way back in the 13th, 14th century, humanism as a system of education, it came up in Italy, northern Italy. Slowly, it was spreading through Europe and England, and it is now everywhere. Next slide, please. So, from humanism to posthumanism. So, we started with humanism. Humanism claims that everything is anthropocentric. Everything is man-centered. What is human is exceptional. What is non-human is not important. Is not that relevant. So humanism proclaimed man's. So if you ask me to tell the role of literature, what is literature? Literature, in fact, is the foundation of our life, human life. Actually, it adds life to living. Whatever is written by the great masters has become a reality. In a way, the writers, they shape the world, they shape the thought of the human beings. They become the springboard. They provide uh, the, the base. They provide the platform. Literature adds life to living. When you have a close look at humanism is, from humanist point of view, life is anthropocentric. From romantic point of view, is what you make of it. How do you take it? There are people who are always romantic about many things in life. They believe that there is joy in looking at things. They feel that life is celebration. So what is realism? From a realist point of view, life is what it is. So you and me watch a lot of realistic movies. We enjoy the movies. And you have a feeling that the characters are something resembling you. You assume that you are one among the characters. You have a feeling that the characters are your neighbors, your own neighbor, your own friend. So from realist point of view, life is what it is. From a naturalist point of view, life sucks everything. Then you die one day. Predominant nature is above everything. When it comes to modernism, life is in the present time. When you have a look at postmodernism, life is isolation, life is fragmentation, life is full of disappointments, disillusionments. Life has so much bewildering things in its bag. Postmodernism. And from postmodernism onwards, the writers, they experimented a lot of things with discourse, a lot of experimentation in form. So when you have a look at life from an existential point of view, life is at times absurd, meaningless. From an ecofeminist point of view, life is the domination of nature and exploitation of women. And slowly, in the later part of 20th century, say from 1970s onwards, even till now, for about 5 decades, transhumanism is ruling the roost. Life is overcoming the limits of human condition. Our life can be enhanced with the help of science and technology. This is a major credo of transhumanists. So for about 40 years, another ism, which is right now we are all undergoing. In a way or other, we are all humanists. Life is artificial intelligence mediated. We cannot do any major activity without the help of which is artificially programmed, artificial intelligence programmed, which controls your thought and action. Next slide, please. What is artificial intelligence? John McCarthy says, I quote, the science and engineering of making intelligent machines. So it was a term coined by him way back in 1956. Artificial intelligence is not a new thing. It is already 68 years old term. Artificial intelligence is as old as a term. So he speaks about the process of making science and the process of making intelligent and smart machines. So now the machines are becoming smart every year, smart and smart every year. But the power of human being, power of human brain, it has relatively stayed the same. Why? There is a kind of stagnation in the growth of the human brain. So most of our children are suffering from attention span syndrome. They have got very short attention span. All these gadgets have not empowered them, instead have impaired them. Many of them rely on their gadget, even you and me, adult and grown-up men and women. When you ask somebody to say their mobile number, they check in their device because they have saved it my number. Imagine, we are all undergoing this traumatic experience. What will be the future? Will we remember our own names or will we check our devices? The days are going to answer us. Yeah, please go to the next slide. What is transhumanism? From here, I would like to go to posthumanism. The term transhumanism was a term coined by Julian Huxley. He was an evolutionary biologist and eugenist. He was not related from to here. I would like to go to post. He was not completely related to philosophy also. He was a scientist. He was a biologist. It was coined by him in 1957, but way back in Dante's Divine Comedy in the 14th century, Dante uses this term transhumanor. Transhumanor means transcend human nature, to go beyond human nature. You are surpassing the human ability. So around 700 years ago, it was a kind of prediction by Dante. In the later part of the century, maybe in the towards the end of the 20th century, it was a kind of prediction by Dante, and it became a reality. We have started transcending human nature. Next slide, please. So transhumanism has become a great movement. There is a transhumanist society at international level. You can become a member of values. What are the values? Because of the said values, you and me are the beneficiaries. What are the benefits? All people to have opportunity to explore the post-human realm. What is the post-human realm? I told you, in the post-human realm, artificial intelligence and more sophisticated machines they coexist. They decide our own choices. They make us to buy this, buy that. You carry your own mobile with you everywhere. Your mobile, most of the time, preoccupies you. It is controlling your time and energy. So, from transhumanist values, the first thing is almost achieved. You have the opportunity to explore the post-human realm. But the idea is that how long you withstand it and how long you coexist with it, or how long very easily you succumb to it. See, the second value, get knowledge, be informed. So we are witnessing a world full of information. Information explosion is there. Information is everywhere. Data is king right now. We are hungry for information. There were days news will be provided at every stroke of the hour. 12 o'clock news, 1 o'clock news, 2 o'clock news. Now there are exclusive news channels 24 into 7. We have got news apps. They provide news 24 into 7, all the 365 days. We are well informed right now. But somehow or other, we don't possess the required amount of knowledge. The information is plenty. Many of us do not have the expertise to take the right information at the right time and making use of it at the right degree. Look at the third value of transhumanist ideology. Self-direction, open society, global security, self-direction, open source, open society. These two core values provided the base for this open sourcing, these online learning platforms. So online learning platforms have opened up a new venture called self-directed learning, heutagogy. Heutagogy. For many of you, this FDP may not help you to get any promotion or anything, but accumulation of knowledge. This is a byproduct. This FDP is a kind of byproduct of a transhumanist value. Everybody can self-direct himself or herself because you are part of the open society. Many things are open source. And people very often speak about global security. And the fourth core value, it speaks about a technological process. It is on the rise every day. Every gadget, new gadget, every device which is invented and marketed for the benefit of the human beings. But there are miscreant elements that they make use of the gadgets or the device for their own negative purposes. And the final one, the fifth one, wide access. It is wide access to everybody. The benefits of science and technology, the ability to enhance your own human potential is openly available. It is given wide access to everybody. And the final one, morphological and reproductive liberty. In a country like India, it is not allowed even now. Whereas in the European countries and in America, you can choose your own child and you can have a model. You can ask for this amount of intelligence, this amount of physical beauty, this amount of robustness, this amount of that can be programmed. You have that reproductive liberty. So this is where some of the ethical consideration come up. This is where some of the professionals, some of the philosophers things
This
can be
meeting is being
altered, things
recorded.
can be edited to allow human enhancement, not with a kind of prosthesis, some kind of equipment attached to the human body. Even at gene level, the enhancement can be made. Go to the next slide, please. So posthumanism, as a term coined by Iham Hassan in the year 1977. In one of the seminal essays written by Iham Hassan on Prometheus, the title of the essay, you can read it for yourself. The title of the essay is Prometheus as Performer Towards a Post-Human Culture. So Iham Hassan is providing seeds of thoughts to think Prometheus as the forerunner of posthumanist practice. So posthumanism is not a new thing. So when there was a death knell to Cartesian dualism, man and the other, there started the onset of posthumanist ideology. We have a self which, next slide please. We have a self which is always alarming us. We need to coexist. That is why we have this so many celebrations, so many festivals, adoring nature, adoring livestock, adoring other living beings. We have that self, we have that concern with us. Somehow the machines are making us inhumans. Inhumans. So that is where the exceptionalism, human exceptionalism is at stake. So what is posthumanism? It is a systematic attempt to challenge man's supremacy. So we have already constructed what is a human, but now there is a question. Who and what counts humanism? Who and what does not count as human beings? As you think, the machines can also think. So you might have encountered this experience when you visit a college website or a company's website. The moment you type and the moment you enter into the website, there is an artificial intelligence machine which is waiting there to help you. It will pop up and it will ask you, what can I do for you? I am your assistant. You may have some 100 questions. For all that 100 questions, that AI assistant will be able to answer. Do you agree with me, dear participants? I have been speaking a lot. Come on. Can any one of you respond to me in the chat or in the microphone? Come on. Do you agree with me? We think that we are so intelligent, but the artificial intelligence which is available in the website that you are visiting will be ready to answer your questions. Say yes or no. Come on, in the chat. I look at the chat also, or you can switch on the microphone and respond to me. So I have been speaking for about 10 to 15 minutes. Come on, am I with you? Are you following me? Do I make sense? My dear participants, friends here, come on, tell me. Hello, Jayanti ma'am, Rajkumar sir, are you able to listen to me? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm not getting any response from the participants.
Sir,
Sir,
you're
in the
audible
chat
for
box
us, sir.
we
The
have.
message also chat box. We are sending message, sir.
Okay, you have sent it, ma'am. Okay.
Yeah, yes, sir. Sir.
Okay. Yes.
You're audible.
That is what we have been experiencing. It is obviously an intellectual journey. Okay, Miss Karunya. Thank you. Thank you so much for all the responses. The chat is now coming up for me. Okay. So this is a kind of experience that you and me encounter very often when we encounter with a machine. So imagine in another 5 to 10 years, in another 5 years, in say 2030, Our banks will be employing a lot of humanoids. Our own colleges will have a lot of robot teachers. Then what will be the scenario? So they will not go for a cup of tea. They will not browse through the mobile phone to check whether there is a missed call, whether there is a very important message, whether there is a mail to respond, because they are programmed. So they are programmed and they may not be programmed to do such things because from the employer's point of view, these are all diversions. These are all waste of time. So they expect us to be more productive. So the humanoids, the robots are expected to be more productive. There will be a day. Slide, please. We cannot rule out that such things will not happen. There will be Q&A, my dear friends. You can reserve your questions and you can ask me. So this is the historical context of posthumanism. It became a prominent movement from Enlightenment period, from Descartes' philosophy, Kant's philosophy, from 17th and 18th century. Slowly, it became a great intellectual movement in the 20th century. Now, posthumanism is more is in the kind of more sophisticated form of enlightened movement. It is the most modern version of enlightened movement because it is giving us a sense of direction. It is a kind of societal credo because we need to live in this world. Next slide, please. So after the advent of digital revolution, IT revolution, the digital age provided a conducive ambience for posthumanist ideology. There are two sections of posthumanists. One is headed by Donna Haraway. She is not a leader, but that group that has the ideas reflecting Donna Haraway. The other group, Catherine Hales. They try to question the boundaries between the human beings and the machines. Next slide, please. So under the post-humanist umbrella, there are so many other terms like Anthropocene. You know about climate fiction. All the climate fictions are not written from the point of view of reading for pleasure. It is a kind of message. It's a kind of cautionary tale, full of cautions. If this is the scenario, this will happen. Then life becomes a kind of altering by some implants or cognitive enhancement through the gadgets that they are going to make use. So things are possible. There will be enhancement, human enhancement is possible. So if such things are happening, if such things have become true, definitely the human beings which are going to evolve in near future, say 2040, will be completely different from you and me. You and me cannot comprehend them. You and me cannot understand their ways and means because they are the products of transhumanist practices. You cannot recognize them. You cannot comprehend them. Next slide, please. So this gentleman, Ray Kurzweil, a chief engineer in Google, he believes that so with the help of technological enhancement, human history is going to end. The history of machines is going to start. So they are going to produce machines or the human beings machines. A new breed will come up. Like in Endiran movie, Vasiharan is creating a chitty. There may be a new breed. So he goes on programming it. And even he tries to program love in him, which is a prerogative of human beings, human love. And it is also coming up in him. And for movie's sake, there were some evil elements were added and we enjoyed that movie. Look at the other section, the second group, Donna Haraway. Donna Haraway says that, she argues that fusing of human beings and technology will not physically enhance humanity, but it simply makes the human beings to understand our interconnectedness with the technology. See, we carry our own mobiles. Suppose you miss that gadget, you become panic, you become restless. So you are interdependent, you are dependent on a machine. Imagine you have everything stored in your email. Your Google has it. Imagine if there is no power. Imagine if the gadgets are not working. If the screen is not, it should make us understand we are dependent on the machines. So when you feel that you are dependent on something, that human supremacy is gone. Exceptionalism is dead. Next slide, please. So she argues, Donna Haraway argues, they are going to be a major challenge for us. So how are we going to, now many of you know about the interactive fiction. So in interactive fiction, so there are so many examples come up.
This
Now
meeting
there
is
are
being recorded.
AI-generated documents. As you go for a premium version, they keep on giving us some ideas. They keep on producing us some ideas. You cannot simply wipe out them. As a major warning, I have been told by one of my friends that whatever is written with the help of AI tools will be caught. If you are sending it for your own research purpose, for a publication, or for your PhD, or for your any other research diploma or degree, definitely you will be penalized because there are counter softwares which are produced to prevent such kind of practices, such kind of nefarious practices. Rely on them, make use of them, but have a tab over them, keep them under control. As somebody was claiming, Mr. Daniel Raju was claiming, we are more intelligent. We produced artificial intelligence. We created such machines to serve us. So we should not become subservient or we should not become stooge to them. Machines may not be allowed to rule us. So we cohabit. So we coexist. Next slide, please. So posthumanist rhetoric. So it is an operation and it takes you as a single individual and it takes as you as an audience. So posthuman authors, they provide you a lot of new dimensions. I'm going to tell about some 4 stories here. I will tell the title and the name of the authors, and you can have a look at them. If you are more interested, you can find some more relevant authors on posthumanist ideology. You can probe further. So the text that you are reading Definitely, within the text, you are finding something, and in response to the text, you are doing something. You are involving yourself in the meaning making process. In both the process, you must remember one thing: human exceptionalism is at stake. Next slide, please. So now there are people who work for the rights of the non-human species, non-human things in the society, non-human objects in the society. It was a movement which was started in 2013, and now there are some rights for elephants. There were legal suits filed in the court, international courts, rights for the elephants, rights for the great apes, rights for humanoids. All things have come up. Next slide. So in her book, Philosophical Posthumanism, Francesca Fernando, she says that now we are living in a time of integral deconstruction of fixed categories by postmodern. There is fluidity. There is no fixed meaning. In our writing, in our culture, in our practices, in our thought process, ever changing. And the second idea written by Francesca Fernando. Now we are living in the epistemological impact of quantum physics. Quantum physics stays its emphasis on non-linear thought process. There is no linearity. If there is linearity, we are heading towards singularity. What is singularity? Towards the end, I will again tell you what is singularity. It is not related to human beings. So we are heading towards non-linearity. Our own thoughts have become non-linear. Though you and me are controlled by artificial intelligence, endowed devices, we got our own self. Number 3, increased role of technology in the formation of human identity leading to hybrid humans. Now we have given citizenship to humanoids. The moment you type Sophia in the Wikipedia, it tells that the type of species is humanoid. It was given life in the year 2016. It made its public appearance. It gave interviews, wonderful interviews. The reporters were amazed the way in which she is answering the queries. Next year, in 2016, Saudi Arabia granted citizenship to a humanoid. Sophia is granted citizenship. The research is going on. Next slide. So posthumanism decenters the placement of human beings above the other life on the earth. So Pramod Nayar, he said in 2013, human beings are a kind of assemblage. It's an assemblage. We are an assemblage co-evolving with other forms of life, enmeshed with the environment and technology. So we cannot say no to technology. We cannot put it in cold storage. So all the developments which are happening in science and technology are for our own good. The one thing that you and me can do is we have to keep a tab on them. Because we have been considered and we have been considered to be an assemblage of things. Like a car is an assemblage of many small nuts and bolts and big parts. We are an assemblage. Next slide, please. There are some key concepts, my dear friends, here. Number one is embodiment. This embodiment is more of similar to transhumanist ideology. Our bodies are not fixed. They are dynamic. They are malleable. Our mind can be programmed. Our physical forms can be altered. I hope you know about the plastic surgeries people underwent, particularly cine actors and actresses, way back some 30 to 40 years ago. See, now there are people who are participating in Paralympics. Paralympics, the runners there in the Paralympics are blade runners. Blade runners. So what made it possible? The transhumanist ideology, the transhumanist projects, human enhancement. Otherwise, they would have been in the dark. People who are disabled, now they have a new leash of life because of the prosthesis which is available. It has given them some kind of empowerment, confidence. The second key concept in posthumanist ideology, technogenesis. As I told you, gene editing. Gene editing is now possible. Technogenesis explores the co-evolution of human beings and technology. So technology cannot be seen as a tool. It is an integral part of human existence. It is shaping our identity. To put it in simpler terms, many of you who are listening to me right now, have a look at this. Now people have in their visiting card, they have simply this QR code. I hope my message is visible to everyone. My chat is visible to everyone. So many visiting cards are now found with the QR code. So if you scan it, you have the complete details of the man or woman. It has become a new thing for us. Earlier, we used to have visiting card, and later we have visiting card with the photograph. And now, see, QR code is everywhere. We create a QR code, and for our own certificates, QR codes are generated. For our own payment, QR codes are generated. See, all the road vendors, tender coconut vendors and all others, they have all got the QR code in their shop. Just we go and scan the QR code and we pay and then we move. Imagine. Technogenesis is on the way. It is already set. Next slide, please. Another key concept is that distributed cognition. We had a feeling that we are supreme and we can only solve problems. Now in Tiruchi, I come from Tiruchirappalli. I work in a college, Nehru Memorial College. It's a rural college in Tiruchirappalli district. In the city Tiruchirappalli, there are around 20 all the ultra-modern hospitals. Almost in all the hospitals, they've got they employed robots to perform robotic surgery. Nehru Memorial College, because they have a feeling that robots do the surgery precisely. There are 3 or 4 doctors. So in addition, they've got a robot also. That robot is giving them direction, or somewhere it steps in and then it does the surgery precisely without any mistakes. Sometimes the humans, they make the mistake. So here, the cognition cannot be confined to an individual. Your own cognition, your own intelligence. You are intelligent, but when you become super intelligent, in a minute you can hack a computer, you can crack a code. With the help of the gadget, your own cognition is doubling. So there comes distributed cognition with the help of technology. So in such case, our human exceptionalism is dead. So we need to coexist with machines. I had a teacher who was not ready to buy a new mobile phone. He was using that button phone for a long time. Suddenly, when I contacted him last week, he says he has got a very ultra modern gadget brought from US, and he has familiarized himself with it. He's making use of it. He's well versed now in it because he has a feeling that that gadget is giving him some kind of empowerment. His own cognition is distributed. It is interconnected with that device also. I hope you understand. Next slide, please. So try to understand post-humanist philosophy as a kind of it is there to extend our own lifespan. It is here to modify our own physical bodies. It is here to provide us a lot of new things from artificial intelligence. And as I told you just a while ago, robotics accelerate. So slowly, the line becomes blurred. The demarcation is blurred. So now we have to recognize the interconnectedness of all beings, the human and non-human being. That is where I lead you to coexistence should be our watchword. Next slide, please. So there are optimists. They look at post-humanism as a kind of panacea. The proponents of post-humanism, they argue that through the integration of human beings and technology, we can transcend our biological limitations and achieve a better future. So far, I have been throwing light on the theoretical base of post-humanism. So from now on, I will cite examples from literature, contemporary literature. As I claimed, the biological limitations can be transcended, can be overcome. There can be improved health, there can be improved intelligence, and even with the help of technology, posthumanists and transhumanists, they claim that immortality is also possible. You may feel that this is a very tall climb, but they claim that that is also possible. They claim that. Next slide, please. Look at the optimistic views of posthumanism. So transhumanists believe that genetic engineering and cyborg technology, artificial intelligence, so through all these things, we can augment our own ability, we can augment our own cognition. But all these advancements in gene editing and neural interfaces have brought us closer to realizing the promises of posthumanism. All things, they have to be approached from a very cautious standpoint. Very cautious standpoint. Without encroaching upon the other. As I told you, there are other beings, there are other species, there are other objects. They too have life. Next slide, please. When you speak of optimistic point of view, we need to speak about dystopian view also. So here is the dystopian view. There are two major perspectives. Number one, there can be a potential loss of human identity. If you go on producing machines, gadgets, devices, human beings will lose the essential quality, that humaneness will be lost. Number two, if you go on creating machines, there will be a kind of unequal society. Already, there is a kind of digital divide, haves and have-nots. Those who are affluent, there are affluent countries. They are far ahead in 5G technology, 6G technology. But there are places in India still in 2G technology, 3G technology. Such kind of unequal society will be dangerous. there will be chaos. So these two primary concerns have to be taken into account. Let us all have that in our mind. Next slide, please. So evidences. Now I move on to my second objective. There are evidence right from Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and Brave New World. So as you know, Brave New World, which came in the year 1931 and written in 1931, published in 1932. So in Brave New World and Frankenstein, both of the novels, they speak about the ethical questions, the ethical considerations. In Brave New World particularly, the society is controlled by technology and genetic engineering. Say, about 100 years ago, 1931, Huxley was predictive of the world which is going to be controlled by genetic engineering. Now we are doing that. Gene editing is now possible. It is happening in many of the laboratories in India. So it was a kind of warning given by Huxley. We need to critically examine and we need to ethically consider what is happening around. We cannot simply say that every individual is suppressed, every individual is reduced to mere cogs and cogs in a machine. So it was a warning given by Huxley in those days, and now it's happening. Next slide, please. Look at Margaret Atwood, Oryx and Crake. This is another primary example. The story is set in a future where genetic engineering has led to the creation of a new species. Almost, it speaks about the near extinction of humanity. So the new species have started coming up. As I told you in the beginning, transhumanist ideology is speaking about a new species which cannot be comprehended by you and me. It doesn't mean that they are not okay, they are not acceptable. No. Because they are embarking on the human enhancement. So in Atwood's novel, Oryx and Crake, it has become a kind of reality. So the readers are forced to confront the potential consequences of unchecked technological advancements. So there must be checks and balances. Otherwise, these technological advancements may lead to a strange world where the machines are going to rule us. Even now, the machines are ruling us. The gadgets that you and make use of are ruling us. They have enslaved us already. They have enslaved us. Next slide, please. There are more evidences. In a novel written by Stephenson in 1992, Snow Crash. This is a very good example of posthumanist literature. The story is set in a near future world in which all VR practices, virtual reality, and the real world, they coexist and the demarcation is blurred. Because we very often make use of VR things in our life in future. And there is a character, hero protagonist. Hero protagonist is the name of the main character. He is a sword wielding hacker. If you confront that sword wielding hacker, he will do something against you. He will unleash a virus, linguistic virus against you. If that linguistic virus enter into your body, then it will reprogram your mind. Then what will happen? Some strange things will happen. So these are all going to be the reality. That is what the writers are giving a warning to us. Next slide, please. In another story, coming to 21st century, in 2003, a writer called A.S. Bayat. The title of the story is A Stone Woman. As the name suggests, the stoniness in ourselves is explored here. It speaks about a woman, Ines. Recently, the mother of Ines passed away, and she is mourning right now, grieving over the death of her mother. She doesn't have any other significant work. Look at the box that has three capital case letters, WFH. It was predicted by A.S. Bayard in 2003, work from home. So in 2019 and 20, it became a reality, work from home. So Ines was doing work from home in the novel. Next slide. Ines is not happy with the life because she is worried about her mother's departure. So she decides to leave the world and to become a stone. And now she is looking for a place to go and stand as a stone. And finally, she chooses the cemetery as the right place to stand there as a statue. And finally, she becomes a statue among other statues in the cemetery. The idea is that she has a feeling. Next slide, please. She has a feeling in search of in the pursuit of wandering here and there to find a better place. She is able to undergo a kind of epiphany. The forces dancing within the living things. Now she has attained that stony stage. And she has a feeling that all that stony things around, they too had life in the past. They too had life in the past. So ultimately, next slide. Ultimately, the story projects that as every other story provides a kind of dichotomy, grief and light is very beautifully portrayed from the posthumanist point of view. So you simply cannot say no to the fellow beings. You can experience the life in you, and you can think of the life in the other species, life in the other objects. See, there are people, they say they are making use of your laptop for more than 15 years. So when you ask them very casually, they say that they take care of the laptop in such a way that the recharging method, the maintenance, the way they handle, it all paves the way for keeping the gadget alive for so many years. But some people, they keep on changing the gadget every year because they say that it is old, it is not working. And they find ways to update the old computers, some of them keep. They find ways to update. The software update is done. See, it all happens, it all depends on the way in which we handle even the object. Because we have essentially that humanness in us, we can maintain that. Next slide, please. Let me touch upon another story by Stephen King. The novel came in the year 2006. Though it is a horror novel, it has got post-humanist themes. Because it speaks about a technological disaster. Next slide, please. As the name suggests, cell. Now we have another term also, mobile cell. the novel, there is a mysterious pulse transmitted through the mobile phones. So that mysterious pulse make all the mobile phone users to become mindless. They are called phoners. They become mindless. Again, it was a kind of cautionary tale. It was written in 2006 by Stephen King. Stephen King, as you all know, known as King of Horrors. Even in the horror story, the writer is giving a message to the society. In 2006 itself, if something happens with the mobile, as it is happening in the movie 2.0, Endiran 2.0, people are losing their mobile. Somebody is taking away the mobile. See, what was the reaction from everybody? There was chaos, there was confusion, there was restlessness. People feel that life has become meaningless. So here also, so too much dependent on the gadgets, the potential dangers of technology is very clearly spelled out, is very clearly given as a kind of warning in the novel Cell. Next slide, please. There are so many themes here, as I told you just now, too much of technological dependence. Next slide. Loss of individuality. So phoners, they have lost their identity. So loss of identity is a major post-human concern. Is a major post-human concern. As you have a feeling that all the gadgets, all the technological advancements will take away the identity of human being. That is why transhumanist projects are not that much welcome, because totally enhancing the human ability, take it in the case of cloning, take it in the case of genome sequencing. There are some curbs, there are some conditions. Whereas in the post-humanist project, post-humanist ideology is always promoting coexistence, interconnectedness. Your individual agency is assured. At the same time, all the other non-human agency is also given its place. Next slide, please. So here, the concept raises questions about the nature of humanity and the potential for human enhancement to alter our own understanding. So we need to be essentially human first. That was the message. Next slide. There are so many other layers of theme in the novel. Survival and adaptation. Next slide, please. So posthumanism is a kind of, as I told you, societal credo. The credo says, next slide, please. So here is the statement. Human exceptionalism is dead. So we cohabit the world. We need to recognize ourselves as merely systems integrated with other systems. So we cannot claim that we are the supreme system. So posthumanism can be seen as a post-exclusivism, a coexistence. We need to reconcile with the other species, other objects. So in its broadest significance. So a few more ideas. Next slide, please. There are some notable writers. I hope the organizers will share the PPT with you. You can explore. Particularly, if you are very much interested in post-humanism, read the concepts and ideas given by Rosie Brodetti, a writer based in Netherlands. Actually, he was a feminist. She was a feminist, but she is very much interested in post-human practices in support of feminism. You can read more about her. Next slide, please. So you need to find a balanced perspective. We need to, ma'am, I'll be completing in another 2 to 3 minutes, ma'am, so that we'll have the Q&A. Jayanti, ma'am, is it okay, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, ma'am. In another 2 minutes, ma'am. I will
Yes, sir.
complete it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, there is an ethical concern here. When machines start to make themselves smarter without the help of people, very strange things will happen. If machines are going to be uncontrolled by you and me, that will be terrific. That will be awesome. That will be dangerous. So let us have a very balanced perspective of post-humanist ideology. The human species is very young on this planet. Next slide. Look at that square there. If that is considered to be the cosmos, the tiny circle is the space occupied by human beings. See, the animal kingdom is vast than the human kingdom. And the next one is transhumanist, and the next one is transhumanist 2.0. So here comes a kind of interconnectedness. Here comes post-human practices. These post-human practices is trying to give place for everything, every object, every species, every human being. That is where coexistence can be assured. So let us have a feeling that we are a tiny subset in the entire cosmos. Next slide, please. So we need to think about the future will be a logical extension of the past. We cannot simply ignore the past. So the future will be decided by the actions of organizations, institutions, even individuals. Even a single individual can shake the world by a radical thought that is possible in the post-human world. So our own actions and our own thoughts are unpredictable. Mostly we do such things in a random manner, random events. So all things decide our own future. So our own future is decided by our own actions. Let us all do that sensibly. Next slide, please. So nanotechnology is the watchword right now. So much of research is going on nanotechnology. Nanotechnology is going to be a great panacea for all maladies of the world. That is going to be the best remedy. Next slide. With the help of nanotechnology, scarcity of anything can be reduced. Scarcity of food will be addressed. Scarcity of knowledge will be addressed. Scarcity of anything will be addressed. Next slide, please. So scarcity economy will be replaced by post-scarcity economy with the help of nanotechnology. It is also happening through post-humanist practices. Next slide, please. So there were life expectancy in those days. At the wake of 20th century, life expectancy was just 3 years increasing. At the wake of 21st century, it was 37 years. Right now, things are possible to go beyond 37 years, 40 years, 50 years. So life expectancy was improved by the science and technology. Next slide. One final thing. That's where I stop. Singularity, as I told you in the beginning, computers, they become smarter, they become faster. Slowly, they are going to decide the future things. That moment is going to be known as singularity. When everything is going to be operated by a computer, now everywhere computer is there. Now computer-based scan reports are coming up, computer-based testing are coming up. So if that is going to be the day, then that will be called singularity. One more thing. Next slide. Mind uploading, as I told you, your own brain can be mapped, your own brain can be uploaded into a system. There will be, like right now we have voice interface, there will be mind interface. The moment I look at my laptop, the laptop will study my mind. So my boss is asking me to open the Word document, it will open. When I have a look at in another folder, it will understand my mind and it will open a PowerPoint. Imagine that kind of things are possible from transhumanist and posthumanist practices. Next slide. This is the final thing, cryonics. Next slide. It is also written by our writer. Next slide. It is written by Don DeLillo in the year 2016. The title of the novel is Zero K. Zero K speaks about cryopreservation. People who are going to die will opt for cryopreservation. Cryo means icy cold. They'll be put in a cold storage. They'll be preserved. Maybe after 10 years or 20 years, when the future is ready with waking the dead people alive, these people will be made alive. Such projects are going on. I may sound hypothetical, I may sound impossible, but things are going on right now. This is written in a novel by Don DeLillo, and this has become a reality right now in a country like US. Cryonics projects are going on right now. So next slide. So exceptionalism, it promotes a kind of sense of superiority, no doubt. But coexistence, it promotes a kind of contentment. It has its own value. It accommodates everything. It gives a sense of satisfaction. So final slide. So coexistence, understand the post-human self in you. So the post-human self, who is a post-human self? You are a post-human self. You are a kind of hybrid entity. Because every day you make use of so many gadgets. Every day you are surrounded by gadgets. You are traveling through a gadget. So you make use of all that. So in this course of life, all these elements, they ultimately help you to be a human. So you, in a way, in a reciprocal manner, so give them the space. Then you become, you try to be the human. That's all from my side. Next slide. Next slide. That's all. I provided you some ideas about humanism to posthumanism. I told you about the various isms and how we became a transhumanist, and now we are passing through a posthumanist era. And now, and how our writers have been recording from 19th century onwards, 20th century and 21st century. Writers have been thinking about all these ideology, and they have been recording, they have been giving a kind of warning to the readers. And we enjoyed it, and now we think it over. Now the house is open. I ask Mr. Rajkumar to stop presenting so the house can be open for questions.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, for the program is the future vision visualized through your presentation, sir.
Okay.
Excellent trace of history, literary work through the ages tells us AI is not new to us nowadays.
Okay.
And then our concept about transhuman and post-human perspective connects literature with the science, the world of science.
Yeah.
And the whole is behind a normal literature part, usually what we come, our previous generation come across.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
So
Now
we cannot
move
get
forward.
away, we cannot get away from science and technology, ma'am.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah.
The Franklin, that and all, it gives a classical example for us to live with the AI.
Yeah, ma'am.
Participants, now the session is open for discussion. The participants can pose their questions in the chat box.
Or even you can unmute yourself and speak to me if you want. Yeah.
Sir, the queries will be posted in the chat box so that our research scholar Hari will read the questions, sir.
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
Yes. Okay.
I'm also looking at the chat, ma'am. If there are queries, then I will try to answer it. Thank you, Ms. Purnima, Dr. Purnima. I heard you second time. I'm highly obliged. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Purnima. Thank you for the compliment. Yeah, dear participants, I am waiting for your queries. I would like to thank all the participants for all the appreciation. Thank you. From my friends here, Dr. Vimala ma'am or Dr. Brinda ma'am, anybody from my own teaching faculty friends, maybe as an icebreaker, throw open the house with a question, then they will continue.
Sir, there is a question in the chat box from Malavika.
Yeah. Okay.
Is this coexistence healthy, sir?
Yeah, coexistence is the only healthy way. Otherwise, if machines are going to be ruling, then what will happen one day or other? The machines will take over. As we are speaking about extraterrestrial things, like here also, all the dangers, global warming or some kind of danger through the floods or through the earthquakes, all are man-made. Likewise, if you go on producing intelligent, smartest machines, one day or other, definitely they will catch hold of you. They will imprison you. Like right now, our mobiles are imprisoning us. They have become the prison house. We are controlled by the mobile most of the time. Our own gadgets. They have everything. Our own payment is done through the mobile. Our own notes are recorded through the mobile. Our own passwords are kept by the mobile. Our own actions are our own wake up time, our own sleeping time, our own diary. Everything is for many of them, not all, many of us, is with the mobile. Yeah, there is another question. There are AI for writing poems and other genres. Will they equate original? No, definitely not, Dr. P. Sitalakshmi. Human creativity is something wonderful. You have got that innate ability. You can be so creative. AI is programmed. Whatever is programmed inside will come out. But what is inside you, unfathomable. Nobody can tell that. People, they beat themselves. They surpass themselves. We go on excel ourselves by our creativity, by our own critical thinking. Definitely, AI cannot be a match with us in terms of creativity. Though they produce a lot of new things, all things are programmed. All things are stored. They cannot be spontaneously creative, but you can. I hope I answered you, Dr. P. Sitalakshmi. Yeah, any other question, dear colleagues? Yeah, Mr. Hari, can humanoid and human coexist in future society? Yeah, in a place like Saudi Arabia now, even some of the barons, some of the kings-like people in Saudi Arabia, they have employed humanoids as their bodyguards. There is a video in YouTube or in the internet, you can watch it. There are massive size bodyguards which are going in front and back to protect a sheikh from Dubai. He has employed that humanoid as a bodyguard. In the airport, it was seen. So such things may happen in our country too, in our places also. When things are going to be relatively cheaper, now it's costly. When things are going to be relatively cheaper, you will also employ a humanoid. Like you have Alexa in your house. Like you have Alexa in your house, you will keep a humanoid. You will keep a humanoid as a watchman. You will keep a humanoid as a cook. Who knows? It's not a tall climb. Things are happening somewhere. Things will happen to you. Things will happen in our places also. Possibility is there. Kitana, sir, you have referred that children are, created to wish. So if this, that reproductive choices, reproductive design is a project in some of the countries. This become the priority of the parents. What will be the future reality? Strange things will happen. People will ask for a child which can grow up to 8 feet, like titans. They will ask for super intelligent children, dangerous things. Yeah, I understand your question, Hari. Then will technology enhance or diminish our humanity? So it will enhance humanity definitely, provided it is kept under some tab. Otherwise, it will be a major threat. It will be a major threat. That is where I posed a lot of questions in the beginning. If the computers are going to rule us, what will happen? So they are all programmed. They will try to program us. So man's thoughts and actions are random. It cannot be programmed. So who will control the future of technology, sir? So we, the people who are controlling the laboratories, the one who invented Sophia, a man from Hong Kong, like there are many. So Elon Musk is trying to find new things, trying to find tech solutions. Elon Musk. And our own man, Sundar Pichai, is trying to provide a lot of tech solutions. So we have technology with us. We keep a control over that. If that control is going out of control, definitely terrific things will happen. Then the humans face unemployment, and definitely in a place like Bangalore and a place like Punjab, Chandigarh, schools have started employing humanoids. There are robot teachers. They sit in the staff room. At the stroke of the bell, they go and teach and they again come. All the robots are recharged by a human being in the evening so that they will be ready for the morrow. And they will go and teach and come. If you ask me about the discipline problems in the class, no discipline problem. It has been programmed to watch everybody. Nobody can leave the hall. If somebody is smiling at the robo will smile back. Dr. Archana. Definitely. It is going to be a kind of crisis. These things will not happen soon. Not next year, it is not going to happen. But slowly it is happening. Maybe in another 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, whatever we speak now will become a reality. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Due to time constraint, we close the Q&A session.
Okay. I think the Q&A chat is disabled. I understand.
Thank you so
Dr.
much.
Hari. Thank you, Mr. Rajkumar. Thank you for the wonderful moving of the slides. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your valuable insights with us today. Your expertise has added tremendous value to our gathering, and we appreciate the time and knowledge you have generously contributed. Looking forward to future collaborations and continued learning with you, sir. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Ms. Kirtana.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I now may call upon Mr. P. Rajkumar, sir, for the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. It's my immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks. With God in our midst, all good things can be accomplished. First, I thank God the Almighty for enabling us to conduct this first day of the faculty development program. Let me offer my sincere thanks to our management, our principal, and our vice principals for their constant support. My most heartfelt thanks to our head of the department, Dr. Brinda ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for your motivation and guidance. On behalf of our department, I extend my special thanks to Dr. Tamilmani sir for his words of wisdom and for presenting comprehensive and holistic details on posthumanism. Thank you, sir, for your insightful lecture. Thank you, sir, for spending your valuable time with us. It's my pleasure to thank all the erudite and eminent professors of our department for their unwavering support. Special thanks to our research scholars and student volunteers for wonderfully moderating this program. Last but not least, I want to express my gratitude to all the participants. Heartfelt thanks to all faculty and scholars participating from all over India. New knowledge is the most valuable commodity on earth. I wish you to have a fruitful learning sessions in the upcoming days also. Thank you all for joining with us today virtually. Once again, thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Rajkumar, for the nice vote of thanks. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Jayanti ma'am. Thank you, Brinda ma'am. Thank you, Vimala ma'am. Thank you, all my friends. Thank you, all the participants.
It's a pleasure,
Thank you,
sir,
thank
to
you,
have
sir.
you on this day one.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. I hope you have set the ground. The other 4 days will fly off.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, ma'am. So nice to meet you all in this virtual platform. So it was a wonderful experience. But this WebEx platform is new to me. That is why I have been struggling. If it was Google, then it could have been very easy for me.
Sorry for inconvenience at the beginning of the speech, sir. So I am not able to talk to you at the
Nothing,
time.
ma'am. Nothing, ma'am. All technical glitches are permitted or allowed, ma'am. Nothing to worry, ma'am. I hope you have recorded, Dr.
Yes,
Rajkumar.
sir, it is recorded and it's also available in YouTube, sir. We will send you the link.
Yeah, sir, please. Jayanti ma'am, please share me the link so that
Yes,
I
sir.
can share
Yes,
it
sir,
with
sure.
some of my others, everything, ma'am, in the mail, ma'am. Through Brinda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So nice,
Thank you,
so
sir.
nice. Huh? Thank you for a wonderful coordination and the invitation and the cordiality and hospitality. Thank you so much. I leave the hall, ma'am. Thank you, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Rajkumar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So the feedback link is ratified. Kindly fill the feedback links, which is posted in the chat box.
And Jayanti ma'am, if possible, please share the PPT with them at the end of the FDP.
Yes, sir. I will share, sir, at the end of our DP session.
Yeah. I need an attendance certificate also, ma'am. Maybe tomorrow after getting the signature, you scan a copy and send it to me, ma'am. Through the WhatsApp, I will take a printout and you can post it. Yeah, you can post it maybe on the next day, ma'am.
Okay, sir. I will do the needful, sir.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah. After signature, you scan and send me through WhatsApp, ma'am. And you can send it by courier like you did in the past.
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay, okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I leave the hall.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, participants. Let us all join for the second day virtual meet session tomorrow. Good day to all.